Is time travel real? According to the lawyer Andrew Basiago, it is. In the 1970s and 1980s, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency or DARPA hired young boys and teenagers to participate in Project Pegasus and top-secret experiment in time travel. Young men were traveled to the past and the future as part of several missions to help avoid crisis and journey to pivotal events in American history like the Battle of Gettysburg and the Lincoln assassination. Was Basiago right? Surprisingly, one of the only men who could ever prove it is a former United States president. Pegasus. Nikola Tesla was a Serbian-American inventor, futurist, and pioneering mechanical engineer that's known for his scientific contributions to the design of the modern electricity supply system. During World War II, the research and development facilities of the U.S. Department of Defense, responsible for developing emerging technologies for use by the military, found Tesla's lost research on teleportation. Upon discovering it, the scientists at DARPA had no choice but to follow up on Tesla's invention, and 3 decades later the United States had its own secret teleportation facilities. A precursor to the Montauk in Philadelphia experiments, Project Pegasus was the DARPA research initiative to produce the first successful time machine, or teleportation device, to keep the machine from the public eye, and because of its inherent resilience, Dartmouth decided to use children as test subjects on the incredible device. At least, that's what Andrew Basiago claims. Basiago is a lawyer, writer, scholar, and self-described 21st-century visionary, who has claimed that he and other children traveled in time. The Travelers. Andrew Basiago claims that he was recruited for Pegasus, as his father Raymond Basiago was a project engineer in the Ruff and Parsons Corporation, an electronics and engineering company, hired to work for Pegasus facility in New Jersey. For the trips between the ages of 7 to 12, Basiago Jr. that hold his father's hand, come to 3 and jump through an energy curtain. Afterwards, they would find themselves in a dark tunnel, moving forward. They called the tunnel the jump room, and when it closed the men would reappear in a different location in the blink of an eye. The lawyer claims that he tested 8 different time travel technologies throughout Pegasus. But most instances involve some type of teleporter, based on technical papers and science, supposedly found in Nikola Tesla's old apartment. After he passed away in 1943, stated that Basiago, the teleporting machine consisted of, quote, 2 great elliptical booms, about 8 feet tall, separated by about 10 feet between which shimmering curtain what Tesla called radiant energy. In the form of energy that Tesla discovered that is latent and pervasive in the universe, and has among its properties the capacity to bend time-space. As one of Darby's time-traveling children, Andrew allegedly traveled to Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C., in April of 1865. Just in time for President Abraham Lincoln assassination. He claims to have done it not once, but 5 times. Basiago's alleged proof time traveling is a photograph taken in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania in 1863, at the height of the Cold War. His trips were different each time, and Basiago claims that it was like, quote, they were sending us to slightly different alternate realities on adjacent timelines. As these visits began to accumulate, I twice ran into myself during 2 different visits. On another mission the children allegedly traveled to the future, arriving in the year 2045, to receive small canisters with microfilm summaries of DARPA intervening in events in the 70s, then returning them to the present. According to Basiago, the future was nothing like he imagined, in a good way. The environment was like a garden city of tomorrow, with a balance between the built and the natural environment, and very advanced activities were going on. I saw no automobiles and no pollution. There clearly been a positive transformation of society that involved the use of teleportation to obviate all these other very polluting forms of transportation that we use today. Obama in outer space. As if Andrew Basiago claims weren't outrageous enough, he also claims that one of his child co-workers was a teenage Barack Obama who then went by the name Barry Soetoro. According to the chronology, they both traveled to secret American military bases on Mars, visiting the area twice between 1981 and 1983. The missions to outer space were to acclimate Martians to human presence on their own planet and secure a possible alliance, as well as to fulfill the CIA's wish to, quote, establish a defense regime, protecting the Earth from threats from space. As part of the mission, the time-traveling teenagers had to be respectful of the surroundings and as quiet as possible. Army Major Adams allegedly told Obama that, simply put, quote, your task is to be seen and not eaten. During one of the trips, Basiago and Sitoro exchanged a few friendly words, while en route to the jump room to travel to outer space. To acknowledge his fellow comrade, Barry merely told Basiago, quote, we're here. Basiago and Obama, now the 44th President of the United States, did not keep in touch after their travels to outer space. Not surprisingly, the White House is being only denied Obama's role as a Martian conquistador for the CIA. You were the spokesman for the National Security Council. However, in an unexpected turn of events, chrononaut Andrew Basiago ran for president in 2016. According to Basiago, he was already sure he would be elected, as he once saw himself winning the election during one Project Pegasus trips to the future. And then official interview stated that he knew he would win between 2016 and 2028, because he was sure he would not run past that. Basiago's campaign heavily relied on his past experiences with time travel. A statement on his campaign website claimed that, quote, for 70 years, the U.S. government has been concealing advanced technologies, because they might be socially, economically, or technically disruptive in nature. These technologies include the teleportation technology developed by DARPA'S Project Pegasus. They may also include cancer cures. The government should begin a program to declassify and deploy this knowledge. The standard of technical disclosure should be what provides the people the best available technology. This will enable the United States to reclaim its mantle as the world's catalyst of applied science. In addition to being an electric time traveler, Basiago is also a firm believer in the existence of the Sasquatch. Even before Project Pegasus, toddling Andrew spotted the strange creature with the child on a trip to the Adirondacks. In another official interview, Basiago bragged that he was, quote, the first presidential candidate since Theodore Roosevelt to affirm the existence of Sasquatch based on a personal encounter. As a scratcher, Andrew Basiago promised that, if elected, he would name the Sasquatch as an American endangered species, and would assign part of the national budget to preserve the creatures. Fact or fiction? According to Alfred Weber, a fellow lawyer specialized in exopolitics, which studies the political and social implications of extraterrestrial presence, Basiago's claims are true. Weber claims teleportation and time travel have existed in the American military since the 1940s. However, instead of using the devices to transfer goods and services, the machines are hoarded by the Defense Department. According to Weber, quote, it's an inexpensive, environmentally friendly means of transportation. The Defense Department has had it for 40 years, and former Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld used it to transport troops to battle. Although most experts have applied but Yellow's claims are the result of mental illness and pathological whys, others believe the man is truly a pioneer of time-traveling science, and that he's being silenced by DARPA and Department of Defense simply for telling the truth. Since losing the presidential election, Andrew Basiago's online presence has significantly diminished and he hasn't made a public statement since. If you love these type of content, please subscribe our channel and hit a like for this video.